Hare Krishna. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalам Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Savadhitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Shakhan Vitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvise Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarovesha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Sukha and maybe in the few successive settings. So the topic is how to live and how to leave. In this one important one, and ways in which people would live fully, they would live for a purpose, they would live with a focus, and they would be absorbed in what they were doing, and they would live also very peacefully, very joyfully, with having gratitude and such thoughts that yeah, we did for which we have been given the human form of life. So there's a saying in English, if we always do what we have always done, we will always get what we have always got. So this is one saying in English. What we have always got. So generally in this world, people want the change in the result, but don't want to change activities. They continue to do what they have always done, but they are thinking there will be a better result. There will be a better tomorrow. So we have to change a set of activities. That is one thing which we can generally understand. We always about and fantasizing about better activity and works. Another saying which we hear, like Shiv Khedai has written that book, that motivational author, You Can Win. So he says, winners don't do different things, they do things differently. So they don't do different things, but they do things differently. It means second thing is about the quality of work, which is being spoken about, like that. But in spiritual life, it's a combination. When we come to spiritual life, things are also changed. We do different things also that way. And we have to do it differently also. So, first important concept which we understand is we have to change a set of activities, because the way we have always lived, if we always continue to do what we have always done, then life does not change much. We find we were in the school life or in the college life, till the time we come in connection with the devotees, activities do not change. And because activities remain the same and some more improper activities gets added, person is going only down and down and down. No progress generally happens. So spiritual life means that when we come initially, the activities change. Kantimala comes, then tilak comes, and the dress code changes, like that. And the kind of books we have been reading previously, then the books changes. The kind of videos we were watching previously, the videos changes. The kind of habits we have, that change. The kind of food we were eating, that change. So spiritual life is characterized by a change of things first. So if we always do what we have always done, we will always get what we have always got. So the things also needs to be changed. So when we come to spiritual life, it gives us a new culture. It introduces us to a new set of activities, a new culture altogether, which we have not imagined. What happens, but after some years, after spending some years in Krishna consciousness, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, the activities do not change. We do not change the Maha Mantra. We do not change the Prabhupada books. We do not change morning program. We do not change prasada. So after that, what has to change? The quality of work. The quality of doing those activities has to change, because the things after that will remain same for eternity. That way. So in the material life, person is constantly changing things, expecting the next change will bring happiness. But in spiritual life, it's not like that. In spiritual life, after a certain period, the change is fixed. Then one has to increase the quality. Because only when the quality will increase, only when the quality increases, he will experience the satisfaction in life. That way. So we have to understand, when this topic I have thought of discussed in 2-3 parts. So first part is that everyone of us has to reflect that what kind of life I am living, like that. What is the quality of my life? So Shastras again and again they tell, Mahajano yena gatha sapanta. The way Mahajans have led their life, we should study the life of great souls. Why we have to study the life of great souls? Because we will imbibe. By that we can understand the principles by which they lived by, and we can try to imbibe them, some of them. So great souls live a very quality life, and they depart from this world also in a very glorious way. In the first canto, 19 chapter 37 verse, Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question because Parikshit Maharaj suddenly crisis has come into his life. He was a king of the world and he was ruling the earth, and suddenly he got a curse that he has to die in 7 days. 7 days is a too short time to wind up, is it not? Previously lives were also long that way. And he has to wind up the whole thing now in 7 days. So he come to the bank of Ganges and he is requesting everyone. And the sages are there, but everybody is thinking it's too short of a time to actually give clarity how to exactly perfect the life. So he's asking in 119:37. Atha prachami samsiddhim yoginam paramam guru purushasya yat karyam niyamanasya sarvada. So he's Atha Prachami is telling, my dear Sukdev Goswami, I want to ask you, you are the spiritual master of the great saints and devotees, Yoginam Paramam Guru, Purushasya Yat Karya. What is the duty of the people in this world? Mriyamanasya Sarvada, especially for one who is about to die. Especially, he is asking, what is the duty of everyone, and especially one who died? So, very writes in this purport 119:37, unless one spiritual master is not a kind of decoration for a householder. Generally, a fashionable materialist engages a so-called spiritual master without any profit. So the pseudo-spiritual master flatters the so-called disciple, and therefore the master and his disciple what both go to the hell without a doubt. Maharaj Parikshit is the right type of disciple because he puts forward questions to the vital to the interest of all men, particularly for the dying man. The question put forward by Maharaj Parikshit is the basic principle of the complete thesis of Srimad Bhagavatam. Like that. So he's asking a very important question, Parikshit Maharaj. You please tell, you are the guru of all the yogis. You please tell what is the duty? What is my duty? What I am supposed to do? In general, what is the duty of the people in general? And especially for one who is about to die. Kartavyam navi prabhu smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparyayam. So next verse he says, please let me know what a man should hear, what he should chant, what he should remember and worship, and what also he should not do. Please explain all this to me. So another important thing to understand. This is not a Parikshit Maharaj is asking. First question he asks, you please tell what is the duty of a person in general and especially for a person who is about to die. And then he is asking, what such a person should read, what he should hear, what he should remember, like that, what he should worship. These activities are very, very important. These activities. This is being indicated. What one is hearing, what one is remembering, what is the thought process one have. These are very, very important activities. So, what he is worshipping. So these all are very important activities. That way. Why? Because these all are dealing with the consciousness. So Parikshit Maharaj is not asking what business he should get into. Parikshit Maharaj is not asking what a person who is about to die, what business he should do, where he should settle himself. These two questions he is not asking. He is asking for a person in general what he should hear, what he should remember, what he should chant, what he should worship, like that. So it means these activities play a very crucial role, like that. What one is remembering, what one is chanting, what one is hearing, what one is worshipping, because these all are dealing with the consciousness. Essentially, Parikshit Maharaj is asking for a person who is living in this world where his consciousness should be. And for a person who is about to die, where his consciousness should be. Like the activity is asking about the consciousness that way. So it's a very important question where the person's consciousness should be. That. So now Sukhdev Goswami is definitely going to answer it further that way. So when we are living, when we understand this concept itself, how to live and how to live, we have to understand living means where the mind is, where our thoughts are, where the consciousness is. That is a very important aspect. So a survey being done in which it is found that average person get around 60,000 thoughts a day person gets, like that. And in that 70, more than 70% of the thoughts are negative thoughts. It's not constructive thoughts. That and 95% of the thoughts are there, which were yesterday's thoughts, not new thoughts. So thinking power has gone very, very down. Its person is bombarded with the things, but more negative things. So Sukadeva Goswami gives the answer. What is the answer? Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishwaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyasya Smartavya Ikshata Akuto Vayam. So Sukadeva Goswami says, Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari. Tasmat, therefore, everyone in this world, Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari. The Supreme Lord, he should worship the Supreme Lord. Kirtitavyasya, glorify the Supreme Lord. Chant, remember him. And that is the doubtless and fearless way for success for everyone. Sukadeva Goswami says, doubtless and fearless way of success for everyone. So what one should remember? One has to remember the Supreme Lord. What one should chant? He has to chant the name of the Lord. Whom one should worship? He has to worship the Supreme Lord. What will happen? Doubtless and fearless way of success in this world. Like that. So that is the point. So when we are trying to understand this concept of how to live and how to live, so what happens? Person want to live with a happy heart. Person wants to live also with a happy heart. And this is a very deep question because this is a question repeatedly asked. Parikshit Maharaj asked this in the second canto, the Shukdev Goswami. Why the Jiva is an Ansha of the Supreme Lord? Why that Ansha of the Supreme Lord is suffering over here? And then third canto, Vidurji is asking Maitreya. So he is asking the same question. Sukhaya karmani karoti loke, nate sukham vanyam uparamamba. So he is asking that all the living entities, they are working for happiness. But why they are not getting the happiness? Vanyam uparamamba. Rather, they are getting something which is contrary to happiness. They are getting misery. Like that. Yadatra Yukta Bhagavan, please give us the directions. Please give us the directions how to live a life. So that is why we want to study the life of great souls, because they know where they are going. They know what they are doing and they know where they are going. Like that. So we are not very clear about it. What we are doing, we are not very clear. And where we are going, we don't know. But great souls know what they are doing and where they are going. Like that. So this clarity, this confidence. So that is why such specific answers in the Shastras are given. Sukdev Goswami in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukdev Goswami mentions life means quality, not quantity. So Sukdev Goswami says, better to live a life, one moment full of consciousness of Krishna than living for thousands of years. सर्वा किं न जीवन्ति भस्त्रा किं न सुसन्ति वा ना खादन्ति न मेदन्ति किं ग्रामो पशवो परे. So they Goswami says, are the trees not living? Sarva kim na jivanti. Are the bellows of blacksmith not breathing? Like that. Na khadanti na medanti. Everybody is eating. Everybody is doing the same four activities. What is special? Huh? So there, before Sukdev Goswami is giving this general answer that essentially we have to increase the quality of life. So the principles which guide our life is very important because we find that the fashions keep changing in this world, but the principles remains the same across the yugas. They do not change. So when we change the principles, then it drastically impact our life. It very much affects our life. So some Vedic principles, like you find there is a principles, things are supposed to be used and people are supposed to be loved. This is a principle, Vedic principle. Use things and love people. And when in the modern time it has been become opposite. Use people and people love things that way. So when the principle is changed, everything has changed. Like we find the common saying, when the wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When the health is lost, something is lost. And when the character is lost, everything is lost. But because this saying has become reverse in Kali Yuga, So because it's a principle, and when it has become reverse, that people are considering if wealth is lost, everything is lost. So such an unhealthy competition that for wealth, people are willing to forsake their health. So nowadays, the way people work in software companies and all the different works, so they're willing to compromise their health that way for the wealth. And also very much they're willing to compromise their character also important. And when we change the principle, then quality of life goes down. So with the changing times, what is happening? The spiritual principles are getting lost. And as the spiritual principles are getting lost, so the quality of life is going down. It means what? If you have to increase the quality of life, then what happened? We have to stick to the principles. When we stick to the spiritual principles in trying to follow these principles like that, the quality of our life increases, the quality of our inner growth increases that way. So spiritual practices, they help us to stick to the principle that way. So in general, these principles which I have told, these are not spiritual principles, these are the moral principles. Use things, love people, and health is lost, something is lost, character is lost, everything is lost. These are moral principles, these are not even spiritual principles like that. And these moral principles, some very few people in this world are trying to hold on to. And they are also able to hold on to in good times. In difficult times, it's difficult for them that way. So when we practice spiritual life, it deepens our service attitude so that we are able to stick to the principles even in difficult situation like that. So then the quality of life improves for a person that way. So I think today some internet connection is little weak. I will little bit I'll explain how the session I am planning to take in the coming 1 2 settings. So in one part we'll discuss about how to live in the present, how to live fully in this world, how to live for the goal, how to live for serving others, how to live with absorption, basically by seeing some life stories, how people lived in this world, living in this world with spiritual principles as priority, and we should live to protect dharma, and we should live like a lotus, which remains unaffected while being in the material world, but is the symbol connected to the divine. And in the last part about how to live. So the great souls by their life, they teach us both these lessons, how to live and how to live. In both these aspects, they they leave very valuable lessons for all of us like that. So life of quality means deep inner satisfaction. Like we say, success versus satisfaction. Success is public victory. Satisfaction is private victory. Success means it depends on the outside factors. It depends on what people say about you. But satisfaction is how you see yourself, how Krishna sees you that way. So when we increase the quality of life, and these two are not very disjoint concepts. Within, he will have no success at all. So there is a interconnection between the two that way. But the point is what factors determines the quality. It is important to focus on those factors like that. And the external success, it comes as a byproduct of that with a period of time that way. So external success also belongs to the genuine practitioner. It also comes on its way that way. But his focus remains the same because the life is meant for focusing at a particular thing. On the contrary, when the person is living a life and his focus is external success, like that. So, internal satisfaction is not a byproduct of external success. So then he loses on something very, very important. So that's what the scriptures teaches us very beautifully. That we have to live our life fully by absorbing in something spiritual. So there are many more things in the coming two sessions I will discuss. If somebody has some questions, I can take one or two, or we'll end some problem with the internet here. Okay, so I will end here. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki